Now, oh, crunch, I'll destroy everything. Hello. This time on CrashTestDummyTV. Hello all, I've got some stuff in here. What does this belong to? What does all this junk belong to? Ooh, belongs to this. I've got this over for a couple of weeks to play with. The owner is getting all the skulls. You know, Harley Davidson's got to have its skulls. So he's getting it hydro-dipped. And he's going to have skulls on front and rear tins, the panniers, 2 side covers, and the tank, and the air filter. So, it's my job to pull it to bits, detail the crap out of it. Look at this. Ugh, yuck. Mess. Dirt. He's got a couple of scuff marks. Apparently this is from a little kid that hopped on his bike, but scuffed down here with his boot and melted it on. So there's a few things that I have to do. But, yeah, I'm doing the easy job of stripping it down, and then I'll be doing the tricky job of putting it all back together without scratching it. So, anyway, I'm going to keep on pulling it down. What stages can I tell you? Pulling things to pieces is, I don't like doing videos of pulling things to pieces, because it's one of the easiest jobs out there, is to pull something apart. Obviously the trick is putting it all back together in the one piece, you know, where it should go. Little tricks, well, I won't say trick, little handy things that I do. If you take a bolt out, like this mount here and that mount there, which these are going to come out, they're going to come off, just so I can get the bloody thing in the garage. But when I take these bolts out, the bolts are going to go straight back in where the bolts live. And that way you don't need a big tin that you think, where the hell does this bolt live? It's sitting where it lives already. Plus it gets cleaned when you detail the bike. Other things, be very careful. Think before you do things. Have a look at the whole job in its entirety. The tank, for instance. A lot of Harley tanks, or the older ones, they were all split tanks. There were 2 tanks. This was the splitter in between, and it covered that join. The join had a gap, massive gap, to allow for the frame as well. Now, having a look at it, how am I going to take the tank off? There's a bolt here, there's a bolt at the front, which might take off this whole silver thing. Otherwise there's 4 bolts for the tank, then you're going to have the fuel lines. So I've already thought of what I've got to do and what might impede me doing it. So just little things like that, as far as thinking it through. Have a look at the job in its entirety and see if you can make ways of making it easier for yourself, or even better, you know, like knowing where everything goes when you're done. Alright, continuing on with this Harley, I had to go out and buy some a Torx set. I'm actually not happy with the fitment. Apparently Torx is only one size, but I'm not happy with the fitment. It sort of slops around. I'll show you what I mean. It's not going to be the same size, no. Put it in the hole, and see that small movement? I don't think this is for Harleys, but anyway, I'll keep on biffo. I'll keep on going. What I'm doing at the moment is taking off the front and rear bars, just so I can get it in the garage door. I had, now, as I said, you've got to have a look forward in the jobs you're going to do, like think through it. Had a feel around at these bolts here. Very simple on most Japanese bikes. They have 4 bolts, the same thing, in the front tins. They either go down or sideways or whichever. These ones, they have like a plate or something that's bent over onto the bolt head itself. Now, fair enough, stop it from unwinding. It is a very vibrating bike, but bloody hell, means I might have to take the front wheel off. They're the things I mean as far as look ahead at the job you've got to do, because that may be a bit that you're not confident with, and unfortunately, just to take your front tin off, you've got to go to a mechanic and get him to take the bloody front wheel off. Or you call a mate. Hey Freddie, Yeah, so wonderful. God, every bloody bolt's got these frickin' torque things. It's one thing I'd be changing if I bought a Harley. Bolts are bolts, you don't have to make them too fancy. Anyway, I'm going to keep on going, pull things apart, not film it because, well, I won't say it's the boring bit, but who wants to watch someone just undo a nut? Let me know in the comments, do you want me to undo nuts and show you? Anyway, pause until next bit. You know, I don't mind working on a Harley every now and then. It gives me a chance to use my Imperial tools. I mean, they're all sparkling. I never use them. Anyway, what I've done is I've pulled off the front and rear crash bars, making sure you put things back on. Alright, crash bars are off. Now, oh, crunch, I'll destroy everything. And now I'll grab the tape measure, keys, unlock the padlock and see if it fits through the door. Alright, using my metric ruler, it's going to fit. I've measured the bike, I've measured the door, it's going to go in. Concerned about this. I want to have a look at this. Just that assembly, it looks too floppy. Having a feel around, I'll have to get my mirror, but having a feel around on the inside, it looks like it could be a pressed in pin or something, so got to figure that one out. The bell should be belling. That's what the bells are for. Anyway, oops, almost fell over. Time to squeeze it in the garage.
2 hours later.
Alright, we have got it to this stage. Now front tin's off, air cover side's off, tank is totally loose, all the bolts are off and everything's loose, fuel gauge wiring is unplugged, etc. And the cover plate is off. That was quite simple to take off actually, just, oh pardon me, bolt on the front, bolt on the back, and you'll have a look once you lift it up that you'll have to unplug a couple of plugs from the centre, but apart from that it just moves out the way. Now rear tin, I'm going to have to Google, have a look at the workshop manual, only because do I need to take the whole arse end off, do I need to drop the wheel, what's the go? There's a couple of different ways I can do it, but I don't want to take everything off, I just want to take that tin off. So yeah. Tank, same thing. I have to Google the workshop manual. The petcock that goes up into the tank, it looks like it screws straight into the tank, but I don't want to. It's nice and pretty chrome, and the rest of it is crimped. You know, proper hydraulic line type crimping all the way through to a plate that goes onto, well, carby, I think, with one bolt in it. Now, I don't know if that plate will release the whole thing, or I don't know if I've got to unbolt from the base of the tank. Without unbolting from the base of the tank, it kind of looked like it was more decorative than it was functional. So I don't want to go and snap anything. So I'm going to Google that. So don't be afraid. If you're not sure, Google it. Jump on YouTube. Someone out there's done it. Groovy. So this stage, and everything else that's come off has been cleaned, washed, packed up, and all ready to go off to the to get it painted. Cool. This is phase, whichever stage, phase, version, whatever we're up to. Next bit, find out about the tank and the tin, and then take those off. Cool. So I'll report back to you and let you know the tricky bits have taken those two bits off. Cool. In a bit. There. So the bike's a little bare now, but now it's time to get in and clean all these dirty bits. Bits that haven't seen the light of day for a long, long time. Make it sparkle. Groovy. While the tanks, all the stuff is away to get painted, time to detail the crap out of this with a little toothbrush. Groovy. That'll be the next episode. This one was just all about stripping it down and preparing yourself for the big project. So plan ahead. You need space for quite some time. You don't want to move things around. Try where possible to keep it all in one tub, all separated, and you know, you're not going to get it mixed up or lose nuts and bolts, that sort of thing. So so next episode we're going to detail the crap out of this. Groovy. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like, comment and subscribe button. Oh, and the notifications, that little bell, that little, you know, the Tweety bell thing. Groovy. Catch you later, guys. Ride safe out there. Bye. Too much crap on these new bikes. There's a lot in here that just doesn't have to be there. But you know, if you want your flashing lights, your buzzing mirrors and your fancy switches, cool, go for it.